Hey everybody, welcome to the Pink Riot Comic Show, where two black women talk all things comics, movies, pop culture, all of that, written by black and brown folks. Today we have an amazing interview. This is going to be wonderful. We have Kwento Comics in the building, so we can talk about the Mask of Haliya, which, right? Like, can I say, I mean, we already talked about it prior to us pressing the record button, but Bree was like big on saying we need to come see y'all, we need to like talk to y'all, and I was like, oh, I have no clue who they are, but like sure. Was in love with you guys and like your energy at Comic-Con, and I finally read it, and oh my goodness, like y'all this is amazing. As soon as I finished, I was like, do I order the second volume now or do I wait until Comic-Con? I think I'm gonna wait.
Yes.
So sign it.
Perfect. That way it can get in your Comic-Con bag for your reviews of the season. I love it.
Yes.
I love that it matches the bookcase. That's what's so awesome. We love the colors. We love the pink, the purple, the blue, all of it.
You guys are so the vibe. Like so we went down this rabbit hole of like trying to find women of color in comics to like bring on the show, because that's like one of the main goals of Pink Riot is to boost women of color in comics. So I'm looking, and I also have a book club, Be Too Weird, and we try to celebrate all of the like heritage months by nominating books that are within that category. So I went down like where's all of the Filipino fantasy rabbit hole, right? And then I seen this stunner of a cover, and I was like, hey, yo, like, where do I find this? And so I went digging even further, and I was like, wait, this is a graphic novel. It's not like a regular novel. And then I found you guys, and at the time you had like this really cute merch on the page, and it was like
Hot Girls Read Comics.
Oh yeah,
they do.
This energy, like absolutely. So I was like, Keisha, we have to find. They said that they're going to San Diego Comic-Con. We have to find them. And so I got my copy, and then when we got there, I didn't even realize that volume 2 was out. And I was like, oh, I did not budget for this, but we're buying this right now. And I was so hyped because like you guys gave out stickers with it and everything. And you guys had so much like bubbly energy. I was like, this is the vibes. This is the vibes that we're going for. This right here. I'm like, yo.
Oh my gosh, so cute on like water bottles in the sun. We love a holographic moment. I just like everything in bright, crazy colors.
Yes. And then I see you guys did like different theme drops for different times, and I was like, we have to work with them. We have to get them on the show. We have to hype them up because more people need to read the story. I love that, like, I'm sorry, I will fangirl. We gotta hold on to some measure of structure and decorum here. Let me get my stuff.
We so appreciate it. It's like the best when we can meet. I think that's what's so awesome about Comic-Cons and why we really enjoy going the most is the community, because being able to see and meet people face to face and hear the reaction and hear which characters resonated with them and the artwork that they love and the panels is just always really fun for us, because we obviously, comics take us such a long time to make, and it's such a
labor of love.
Labor of love process between our artists and writers and everyone in between. And so it's really cool that people actually are reading it.
Yes. No,
we're definitely going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to dive into that piece and fangirl more, but we want to, something that we always ask any of our guests who hop into the Pink Riot Lair is, what is your comic book origin story? So like, what got you into reading comics and what got you into creating comics?
Okay, I will take that one.
Okay.
So I am old, if you can't tell.
Stop that.
Grew up in the Midwest in the 1960s, right? And sorry for the long setup, but it's important to understand that there was only 3 black and white channels on TV, no computers, no cell phones. nothing for kids to really, engage in except for playing outdoors, right? But what my mom did was she took me to the library every couple of weeks.
Yes.
Now, this was a trek. She did not drive yet, so it was a 20-minute walk, 2 different bus transfers. But then we would stay at the library for a couple of hours, and I would read everything in the kids section because there wasn't a lot. And then we would go home, and I wouldn't come home with books because it was heavy. We had to walk, we had to take the bus. But what there was a newsstand at one of the bus stops. Mm-hmm. And that newsstand always had the latest comics.
Hey.
And little Cecilia would be able to pick 1 or 2 comics for that bus ride home. And it would be something I could take home and I could reread. And it was my introduction. It was my escape. It was my fantasy time because, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have, like I said, leap pads and computers and whatnot. But it was my introduction. It was our generation's, way of getting information. I learned about UFOs from the UFO comics, the gold key. I'm really old. You got to understand. I'm,
You are seasoned, okay?
Yes, very seasoned. So, my faves were Batman and Wonder Woman and Archie's. So that was how I started, and why I appreciate comics so much, and why my generation does appreciate comics, because that's all we had. I mean, that was it, right?
That's fair. Oh, I love that.
I didn't really think about just like how accessible, like why there is a large audience for it, because it was accessible. It was light. It was easy to carry. It was like cheap for the most part, that you could just get into.
25 cents, baby.
That's crazy. Like, let's
which I feel like is so different than what I experienced growing up as a kid, because I so wish that they push comics more on us as real literature in the education system, which is kind of where my mom and I are now, is really pushing for, we worked with a lot of and talked to a lot of educators and teachers who attend Comic-Cons. And it's like, no, comics are really important for young readers because it actually uses both sides of the brain. And you really have to dissect the in-between of not only what is the written word, but actually what's happening on the page. And so I think that's what makes the medium so special, is the fact that you do get the blend of both. I come from like film and TV world. That's what I studied in college. And so the fact that for me, I didn't get to necessarily grow up reading comics. I read a lot of like the coming of age. Funny enough, I was doing a deep dive into like, okay, let me find like what I did read back in the day. And there was like some coming of age young girl books like Smile and just like, growing up and all of those. And I was just like, wow, like, and then you get to, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and they're pushing, the fantasy and the Harry Potters. And like I was reading a lot of like Hunger Games and all of those, but like I would love for there to be more young adult graphic novel content for that generation. I wish that we just, had more of that, I guess, accessible to us in the school system. So that's something that Cece and I really have been having fun with, talking with teachers and figuring out how to get the books in classrooms, because you can do so much from paneling to the culture aspect of it, all sorts of different things. So I definitely been studying.
Actually, our conversations have actually been more along the lines of convincing educators too, to realize that graphic novels are an important thing, especially because you need both sides of the brain to process a graphic novel. It's the artwork, it's the dialogue, it's the, what's going on the page. So I think it's super, super important for libraries and educators to understand how important graphic novels are.
And also it's very cross medium. Like for me, when we started this process, I was like, oh, I don't know I didn't grow up reading comics very heavily, but to me, it was like a directorial storyboard. Like I could see this as a, live action or animated series. And so for me, that really helped when we were first starting out this process of even understanding how to be on the creator side of things, is I was able to use other tool sets from either acting or producing, directing to influence what you see on the page. So that was fun.
We've seen that a lot, where like a lot of filmmakers have gone on into adapting things or working in comics, and they use like that staging and, like you said, the storyboarding to you know, really give more depth to like their comics. It's so cool. But what I wanted to say about the education, because I used to teach, and I actually got my first first teaching residency with comics. Like, went in and was like, hey, I'm using these comics to teach these kids, you know, in my neighborhood how to read, and I was pulling out issues and doing all of that. It is so important, and it's really unfortunate that like even like 10 years later after that, we still don't have enough teachers who are sold on that, because these kids are engaged when they're reading comics. The conversations are just so they're so more complex and like have more depth to them. I'm trying on my end too to get more kids and more more people to like see comics as something worthy of scholarship in academics. So please,
I think we're getting there. I think my generation, I'm like a borderline Gen Z or millennial, but between us and the younger generation, I just see a return to physical media. Everyone's into CDs now and magazines, and it's just so cool to see us kind of just get back to our roots. And after being like here with the screen for so long, like actually just we all want to, you know, disconnect from that and actually feel like, you know, back in the day.
Yeah, this analog resurgence is beautiful in a lot of ways. So love that.
Absolutely.
So we heard a little bit from Cecilia about her origin story in reading comics. I'd love to hear yours, and then we want to hear about what made you guys start creating comics.
Yeah, so I kind of explained earlier, I didn't really grow up reading them a whole lot, but what I did love and grow up reading, and why I have, I think, such an appreciation for the medium in and of itself, is because so much of the film and TV and things that we love are adapted from books and comic books. And I think it's always really important to go back to the source of what that is. And so that was really exciting for me when my mom and I first even conceptualized of maybe comics is, you know, our way into telling our stories, was the fact that there is something about something magical about comic books and being able to see the thing that's on the page, kind of similar to when you're reading a book, and reimagine it come to life in a new way. And I think I just have such an appreciation for the artists. I think when we were starting to even do research on this, we were connecting with people in the Filipino space and the comic space, and realizing that there was a lot of crossover, and the fact that Philippine, like, because it's something that we just haven't seen. It's not like we see Filipinos much on screen, let alone in comics, but yet we have always been there behind the scenes, behind the page in this medium. And I think that's really cool that we have influenced so much historically of what we've seen through Marvel and DC and Image and so on and so forth, and Dark Horse, and all of these comic publishing legends that we kind of had a hand in it. And so that made me just really excited to dive deep of that, you know, we were a part of it. And I think it's really cool when we go to the Philippines too, is we have met with a lot of artists who have worked on a lot of these properties. And what's crazy is they even say we don't get to work on Filipino stories too much either. So I feel
especially the women.
Especially the women. And so I think that was the real push for my mom and I to be like, all right, we have the talent, we have the people, we've been actually in this space for so long. Why don't we see our own stories? And I think that was the real push for me and my mom to kind of dive into the deep end and, you know, create the space for our creators.
Period. I love that.
I mean, like, y'all this comic, this story is like this love letter to Filipino women. I was in love with like nearly all of them, even the mom who is frustrating. She's
Yes.
frustrating on so
Not your
many
favorite
levels.
character, but she is a very well developed character.
So developed, you know, like she still like, yes, she's frustrating, she's annoying, she is overwhelming at times, but you get such a great like complete picture of her, right? So like you understand why she's behaving the way she's behaving and like how it's influencing everybody. Like y'all put so much love into the story, which I love so much. I know that was not a question. I just needed to say it.
Thank you.
No, and we really appreciate that. I think that's what's so awesome is it's also when you're in a space with women to have these conversations and develop these stories in a nuanced way. I think is so beautiful. I know, Mom, that was really important to you when we started this, was to have that space for us to all have a seat at the table and have a voice and bring these stories to life and be able to share with one another, you know, our experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. Our perspective as women, women of color, is just very different. You know, unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, the comic industry has been male dominated for a very long time. Yeah. And, you know, it was very important when Waverly and I first started that the women be portrayed as how we see ourselves. And I don't have big boobs, and so our characters don't.
That part.
But I have a good back end, so, you know.
Oh my God. I think that was the thing that
proud of that.
Really scared me when I first went to a Comic-Con with my brother. I was just like, oh my gosh. I was just like, oh wow, I don't look like that. And I feel like when you do have a team of women that we're able to just show women's bodies authentically, that's always a really nice touch to it all as well. Like we don't have to play into the, I guess, the commercialness necessarily or a certain audience.
Hypersexualized,
hypersexualized, all of that. So I think it's just great because authentically we're able to actually show like real bodies. That's nice to see. It is, because it's really overwhelming. When I went for the first time, I was like, oh, I could see how even, you know, maybe women wouldn't feel like welcomed in some of these spaces, I think, off the bat. Let alone like, I guess, like, you know, the YA genre too. So I don't know. I guess it's like finding that happy medium, but there's something for everyone. I think that's the most important thing I feel like in any representation is to not just see one portrayal of any one thing, but to see an array of it. You know, Asian American characters, sure, we can be the nerdy sidekicks, but we can also be the heroines and we can also be the villains and so forth and so on. I just think that's really important in anything. Yeah.
And y'all do that in here. Like, you know, you have like a wide ranges of ages, skin tones, you know. I love that. Yes, this is like the audience is for young adults, right? But you have this like plot line with Isla, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That I'm just so fascinated by. I'm like, this woman is such a badass. And I need to know everything that's going on. She has like this mysterious like backstory that I'm hoping we're getting into in the next few volumes. Because
gotta get that volume 2. It leaves on a crazy cliffhanger, I'll tell you that much.
Bree, you can't spoil it for her.
The way that I'm just like, okay, girl, you want to wait till the con? I hear you, but like, what are we gonna? Okay, so,
I know
it's all good though. It's all.
I'm just gonna say it's a banger. We got a banger of an ending on the last the end of volume 2.
But like you said, the Philippines is really interesting because it's also really similar to I mean, we have so many shades and hues here in America, and it's very much the same in the Philippines as well. That's a lot of that we actually touch on in our next series in development. Oink oink. But the Philippines was colonized by Spain for 300 years, and then America for 40, and then before that had its own indigenous culture. I guess similar to Hawaii, where each one had
Mhm.
their own kingdoms and their own languages and dialects, was very much similar in
Yeah.
the Philippines. And so you do have that melting pot, if you will, of culture that is very much still prevalent that we wanted to come across in the Mask of Haliya. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
you caught those things.
Oh yes,
yeah.
100%. And I love how it starts with introductions from all of the contributors. Also, how tea is it that you guys are all women, all Filipino staff and team, like keeping it? I'm like, that is like peak badassery, and I want to see more of this in this industry because it's very apparent. Like even just based off of the intros where each of you share a bit about the process, it's like talking about the sheer number of islands encompassed in that culture and how it was like we want to be able to represent a little bit of everybody. So the goal is to showcase highlights of that for other people to experience, not necessarily to like homogenize, but to showcase that there's so much and there's so many languages and there's so much of this. And it's like just having that additional context makes the reader curious. And I feel like that's like one of the most beautiful things that you could do in starting off the story by saying like our culture is so rich. Please understand we're not representing everything about every culture. We're just giving you a little taste, and look how vast and expansive it is. Like that was so cool. And then I also loved that we're touching on like mental health in respect to a different cultural experience, because I can speak to what mine is, and I can speak to, other people in my life, or you want to try not to frame things around stereotypes, but all of the context of that is here within the story, where it's like you're getting the bits and pieces from the mom, you're getting the bits and pieces from the prior upbringing. Of course, there's this like mythological magic situation happening too, but at the core of it, it's this is what my life has been like, and I'm still having to contend with all of these other aspects that are affecting the people around me. And then when you get the reveal about what has actually been happening in her life, it's just kind of like, wow, she's been pushing through. And then you kind of get the other side of what the mom's been dealing with and all of this. So yeah, I thought it was just really beautiful how you guys infused so many real life aspects into the story in like a palatable way that didn't feel like it was like we're trying to hammer on your head all of the things. It just felt like very full, well-rounded characters who are living like real lives. Like if I could have put this book down and went that way, we would have learned so much more about Isla's life. Like pure hilarity, all of them meeting at the house, and her being like, I'm pushing 40, like, no, why am I going with the kids, like that type of thing. You don't see that like biting reality in a lot of these type of stories. Everybody wants you to be either super young and this happening, or if you're shown anything older than that, you're like the grandma's age or something like that. It's like there's real depth of character and real depth of experience at every stage in life. And I love that it's all, not all, but so much of it is represented in this book. Can you speak to like where that representation came from? Like why was it intentional? Like we want to showcase like so many different experiences in terms of age and colorism and all those sorts of things. Like I'm sorry, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but it's so much because all of the characters are coming from different angles, it seems like. So can you tell us where the inspiration for those characters came from?
That's Waverly, because she's got a great story of, how we began with the Mask of Haliya. And I'm going to let Waverly tell it, but the story that's in the first issue came from real life. So,
yeah, I have always, I just think the matriarchal lineage of just women. I think it's really interesting what you had said earlier about, we meet Isla, and then you have our Lola character, and then Mari, and like how each of the things that happen to us influence, the next generation. And there is a lot of intergenerational, call it trauma, whatever, if you will, that we do inherently, consciously, subconsciously pass down to our kids, unless we deal with it, kind of. And so I think when
I was actually talking about the wake.
Oh yeah. I rounding out that thought, I think it's really beautiful, just because that's what I've experienced with my mom and my Lola, and just going back to ancestors and everything. I just think it's really important to know each of their stories. And so the first issue, obviously Mari receives the mask from her Lola. And that was really similar to a story where after my Lola had passed, my aunt went around and was like, everybody can go pick out a piece of jewelry from hers. And there was this ring that I always remembered her wearing, and it was a ring that had her and I's birthstone of October on it. And I just remember that as a little girl. And I think also grandparent figures are just very, very important in Filipino culture. They also help raise you in a way as well, very much so. And so we thought, what if this ring had powers, knowledge of, the Philippines and its past, our lineage and its past. And I just think that's important. I think that anybody goes and does is to go back to your home country and to learn about the stories from the past, learn about your own ancestral stories. I think my mom and I were in the Philippines for a month in March. Still we're finding and pulling apart, trying to find photos, trying to understand our family's lineage. Okay, we started, we have family lineage from Spain. Why did they immigrate to the Philippines? What was the ecosystem of the Spanish galleon during that time? How did we end up living on this land? And then eventually my Lolo's immigration story to the US, which is pretty crazy in and of itself. And I just think those all contextually, whether we know it or not, I think play such an important aspect in our lives and our identity and shaping who we are.
Yeah. 100%. So it was super important that we showed, Filipino life as it is. And, Waverly it was great that Waverly got to live with her grandparents. My mother-in-law lived with us for a while. My dad lived with us. So, intergenerational living is just part of kind of the Filipino culture. It's very common. We in the Philippines, you don't find nursing homes because, if someone gets older, if they're not with their kids or with a niece or a nephew or somebody's taking care of them.
Right. And each generation has their own sacrifices and struggles and things that they went to, hopefully make the next generation better, or have, a different experience. We always want to, my mom always says, we always want to improve with the next generation and give the next person a leg up and the next one. And I think that's what it's all about, is passing that down and creating that for the next one. I love, there's this one Filipino podcast that we're on, and it's really weird because of course we find out that we're like cousins through marriage, and I'm like, of course, right? And their podcast is called Future Ancestors, and I'm like, I think that's such a brilliant name, because I think that's how we all should go about, obviously living in the present, but knowing that like what we do impacts the next generation, and we are future ancestors, which is so spooky and heavy sometimes when I think about it, but I think it's also really empowering and beautiful at the same time.
100%. Yeah, I love that. I was gonna say that scene within the wake would definitely hit close to home, because my grandmother was one of my favorite people in the world, and when she passed away, she used to collect like elephant figurines, so she had like so many of them.
My
And
Lola also had elephants, so I'm here with you.
okay, we're locked in. We're locked in.
Yes.
So she had all these elephant figurines, and my aunt, the oldest aunt, she was in charge of like kind of divvying things out, and she was like, all of the grandkids are gonna get to pick, from the elephants. But I was out of state at the time, so I didn't like get to pick from like the first things because they did go from like the oldest down. But it was still the best thing ever because out of the elephants that were like remaining for me to choose from, there's this like little tiny one that used to be part of like a jewelry box, and it's like really ornate and has all these things on it. And everybody thought I was gonna want to go for like one of the brass ones or something like that. I was like, no, I want that little tiny one. And it to this day is like one of my most treasured things that I own. And after that, we all like kind of went through and told stories about like, obviously I was there virtually, but we went through and told stories about like that we remembered of grandma. And so that's why I thought that scene was so hilarious, because they're like telling stories about like all of these crazy things that they think she's done, or I heard that she did this, or I heard that she did that. And I was like, why are these people in my family's business? Because literally exactly what that experience was like. So
Like
it was very
canon
emotional
event.
for me, because I'm like, wow, like we're all doing this in some measure, like in like what you said about future ancestors. It's like, wow, you don't, that moment for me talking about my grandmother's experience was like, I know that there's so many probably other crazy stories that I'll never know, because she was the OG, like she took it with her. So like I love that you put that in the story, and I love how you're framing that about future ancestors, because it's like, tell those stories, like put them wherever they need to go, so that the people coming after know like what your life really was and what you did to get them to where they are now. Just hit me right in the feels, y'all.
I know. I like think about it now because I'm like, I wish she was 9 when I passed the Lola that I was very close with, and I wish that I had asked all those questions. For example, I mean, we're writing a breaking it here on Pink Riot.
This is an exclusive.
Can we give the exclusive?
Yes.
We are working on a World War II graphic novel. And hearing the stories that my mom has of her parents and my dad's parents about that time, I wish I could like ask them. And it's and I hope that if anybody out there who has read our novel or is listening right now is to ask them the questions, ask them about their life, because they were people before they were your grandparents or your parents. And I think about that now too, which is just so funny because so much more of our lives are documented with our phones and everything. Like our grandchildren are going to see what we ate on Tuesday, March 8th. Kind of like a weird, kind of insane. But for our grandparents, honestly, all we had were just, the photos that we could find in their photo albums or the things that they were willing to share. And I know for that generation in particular, it was really hard for them to talk about after. So I would have loved, to have asked those questions more. So for anyone out there, get the good stories.
Get the stories.
I love
and record them.
Yes, 1,000%. But you also have me.
I was so happy working on this project. I was lucky enough, I took an Asian American class at UCLA over COVID, and it was tracking down our family's immigration story. And so I was able to record my Lola on video. And I think that's even a step up if you can get them on videotape and hearing it in their own words, tell it. That's so awesome.
Nice. My dad passed away when he was 92 a few years ago, but we were lucky we had Waverly's recordings when she was in college, and she did that. And then I also have about 2.5 hours worth of him just talking about the war, talking about his life before he immigrated to the US. And what life was like. So we were super happy we have that.
Again, that's like another reason. Like I always loved history. Always was a fan of history. My Lola always had all these war books and talked about that time back in the day. And it's so crazy that, you know, unfortunately, after he passed, that now I'm writing this story about that period in time that he, you know, cared about so much. But again, it's one of those links where it's just like ancestrally, he passed that on to me, that whether I knew it or not at the time, eventually, you know, manifested in this new way. So again, just it's really cool to see those touchstones throughout life when you really look back of the things that they gave you, whether you knew it or not at the time, that would maybe be useful later.
Yeah.
I love that, like, your family, all of you are like constantly going back into your families, into your history, learning each other, learning about your history, and then coming back and then writing these stories to, you know, just like even further stamp, you know, everything you are and everything you're learning. I think that's wonderful. I'm also excited for this because never have I like heard World War II and was like, oh, you know, that's something I want to read. But now I genuinely want to read this.
Yeah, this
typically
it's Phil Spread. Yes.
Right. Because typically when we hear World War II, it's, you know, some
I know it's
some
like
white guy.
And that's the thing, is that we were there. Like, I think that's what's so awesome, is that I do want to bring a fresh perspective, because we do learn so much about the Western front of things in our education system. Like, I remember Japanese internment camps, for example, being such a small like paragraph in my textbook. And a lot of people don't realize that the Philippines, they were a US territory at that time, just like
Hawaii.
you know, Hawaii. And the Philippines was bombed the same time as Pearl Harbor. And so a lot of people don't realize that we were thrown into the war because of the US, the same way, you know, Hawaii and the other Pacific Islands were. But there was a really just the way the war played out specifically in the Philippines was just very interesting as well. And Manila was the second most destroyed city after like Warsaw in Europe. Wow. And a lot of people don't know these things. So I was like, okay, let's put a fresh spin on this. And also it's so unfortunate that a lot of that generation, of course, is past. And I think it's really important, kind of similar to, I guess, the theme of this discussion has been today, but to show the new generation that doesn't have, like, I was so fortunate, at least, that I was able to have a grandparent to tell me these stories. And unfortunately, I know that the next generation won't have that. So it's really important to not only make sure that they remember, but we honor that, because I think that was one of the craziest times in history for sure. So yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. To bring it back to like the Mask of Haliya, like okay, so the artwork, wonderful.
Literally,
you have a team.
We cannot take any credit other than our phenomenal artists.
Yes, our art team is awesome.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Okay, you brought up a really nice one, because one of my favorites.
I like that one too.
It's incredible.
The way the horrific was drawn in here captured my attention.
I'm sure you didn't know Filipino mythology was that shit crazy. I have no other way to say it.
I mean,
but like also really cool though, because like you know, all you can do is guess at these things, and then it's literally like, the reason why I showed this is because this is literally the first spread, y'all. And look at this coloring. I was literally like beautiful. Stuck on stupid when you very first open it, like. We talked about this on one of our episodes about potentially getting like cover fished, where like the cover art is really awesome, and then you open it inside and you're just like, meh. No, guys, this is not
cover fish. I like that. I'm glad we're not a cover fish. Thank God.
Yeah, glad.
And like, you're talking about the creep factor. This lady is legit terrifying.
Exactly, right? Like the artwork does a phenomenal job just conveying every type of emotion. Like even when we're getting the backstory of one of the characters. Hold on, can my camera act right for a minute? Okay. But like, oh, it's not even showing. Okay, so
Yeah.
in this like page, it's one of the people in Hila's like backstory, and you know she was a music, you know, she was a performer, and she's on stage, and you get the feeling of what it means to be in that
You
moment.
can hear the crowd cheering.
Yes,
See, that's
yes,
what's so cool about comics. Ugh, I love it.
This one.
Yeah,
yes.
that one.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
like to know.
My camera is acting up, but now like I loved how the art just like took you by the throat. I can't say it any
Yeah.
other way, but like
Oh
took
my
you by the throat and
gosh,
just
that
like
is such a high
forced
compliment.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
And
like
again, like I said, I mean, other than us, you know, helping with the, you know, art direction of what you see on the page, I mean, that's what's so cool and collaborative about comics is because we're able to develop the story, but then the artists also have such a cool, unique, fresh perspective on it, and they get to bring their own unique artistry as well to it. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're phenomenal. And
I
I
say
think,
it all the time that the artists are the rock stars.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's amazing. I think that's what, again, from me coming from more film, TV, theater background, is I
Mhm.
really wanted you to feel the panels, and that's even another thing. Like I didn't realize that acting, you know, my acting background would be able to play a part in the art direction of it all, because you do have those, you know, tight close-up shots of the characters' emotions, and so that's really cool to see as well.
oh,
Yeah,
man.
I would say that I don't know if the artist and the colorist were the same person, but the scope of skill in this book from the colorist is ridiculous. Like, I
Yeah.
showed that first spread, and it's like all of these like warm, eerie tones, but it literally goes from yellow to orange to purple to green. And
Master at
the way that the
contrasting
characters
colors.
are like backlit or underlit just makes it so spooky and creepy all at the same time. But then you get this like sense that there's something magical happening, and then boom, this creepy ass lady. It's like very well done. It's not the same throughout the book. Like, you see the different color palettes as you go through depending on what the scene is. And I
Mhm.
love how the scenes where nothing like magical is happening very much feel like harsher outlines, very true to whatever, so it feels like normal. And then when something mystical is happening, the lighting completely shifts, and it's either, like I said, with
Yeah.
those oranges, it's like an orange and yellow, or the purple and green, and then there's somewhere it's like all blue scale. It's very clearly intentional, because if you didn't read a page out of the book, you could tell like the tone and the vibes, and you could
Yeah.
see the shift from when it's like a normal everyday thing happening to something crazy happening. Very well done. I was like, oh, this is nuts.
Yes. I think that's the thing that I really came to appreciate was the coloring, and how much just fun scene work and light, what lighting and what again, like you said, color palettes can really do to shift mood and tone,
Yeah.
that you might not necessarily get to verbally say all the things that you want to the way that you can in a novel, but comic books, you do have that luxury of playing with those elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, the color. We've had so many discussions on color. Is the green gonna be good? Is the red gonna be bad? Is the just
I'm glad that you're
so
exactly. It comes into play a lot in volume 2 as well. So, and I'm glad at the end. What I love about that we just went full throttle, deluxe size, mega. We're gonna give you all the bonus pages, like immerse people in Filipino mythology for those who don't know about it. And volume 2, we were able to dive more into like we were talking about earlier, the creatures and everything like that.
So yes, Keisha will be able to look at all the creatures in volume 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're probably gonna have to ask y'all back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll
We can talk full spoilers, because it's so well done, you guys. It's absolutely a triumph. And that's why we were like, we have to highlight them. We have to get this in more people's hands because it's an excellent story. It's a very well done comic.
It's so
and
intentional.
Then, exactly. And then you add the like aspect of culture to it too. So it's like, I would feel confident putting this in a lot of people's hands and just being like, I don't want to tell you anything. Just read it and then tell me what you think because I know you're going to be blown away. It's that type of energy. So.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That means a lot. That means a lot.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's really fun when creating. It's like we throw in all these things. We're like, oh my, it's there if people pick it up. It's, you know what I mean? Like you can take what you will. And that's what's really awesome about art is just once it's in other people's hands, it's like for their own, you know, interpretation of these things. It's the same when I'm watching film or animation or any of those mediums, which is awesome.
We're constantly looking for places to insert like little Easter eggs or things.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yes,
there's quite a bit. So, you know, whenever we could highlight Filipino street food or, you know, the graffiti that you'd see on a street. Like one time we had a panel and I'm like, that doesn't look like a street. Where's the graffiti? So we put graffiti, but we put fun graffiti. Like there was I don't know if I can say it. There was one Filipino thing. It's in Filipino. It basically says "Don't piss here," and we put that in the book, but in Filipino.
That's what's up.
And that's what's really awesome, especially because this was a story about a Fil-Am returning home, is the fact that we have both Filipino Americans and our Filipino artists in the Philippines as well. It really helps, again, aid in that discussion of being able to, you know, tackle both sides of the pond, if you will, with the story. So we're able to infuse those nuances.
Yeah, we definitely wanted it to be a bridge for the Filipinos in the Philippines to understand a little bit of what it's like for Fil-Am to go back. And then also the Fil-Ams to understand, wow, Philippines isn't like being a Filipino in the US. It's completely different. So we definitely wanted the story to be a bridge.
I feel like it's so relatable for any of us, you know, Americans. We all came from somewhere, right? So when you go back home, it's like very much a little bit that feeling of like a fish out of water, if you will.
Yeah, that's fair. I also really love that the infusion of language in the book, and you didn't cheapen it by like giving us
translation
thing and then they say it in English. No. And then you gave us the glossary in the back. I'm like, more people should do this. If you don't understand it, go do your homework and figure it out.
Exactly.
It felt more rich. It felt more textural. It was like, okay, I'm immersing myself in this experience, and it's not my place to feel comfortable or obvious here. Like that's part of it. Where's your curiosity? Like where's your respect for a difference in experience? So I really loved that you did that, and then I was able to just easily flip to the back and go, okay, that's what that is. You know what I mean?
That's a bad word in Filipino. Now I know that word.
Exactly. I love that. I feel like me and Keisha have talked about this before, how it feels like it cheapens it if you're gonna give us the language and then make somebody else say it in English afterwards or immediately translate it or something like that. So I love that you guys didn't shy away from that, and it's immersed, it's like dispersed in there enough where it's like it feels full. But also, if you want to be lazy, I guess you could just keep reading and figure things out from context. But if you want that fuller experience, the glossary is there, or you could, you know, Google Translate, whatever. I love that aspect of it as well.
It's so funny you picked that out, Brie, because we had discussions about that too.
And I love it also from like a reader's experience too, of like, you know, we could have just stopped at the thing, but we did want that you guys to have that experience where contextually, yes, you could continue on, but you know, curiosity, if you want more, it's there for you. And I think again, it's the same thing. It's like how much do you want to take away after? That's what I love. I mean, I am such a I'm not like, I don't want to see a trailer for movies typically ever. I'm like, I just want to immerse myself and be curious and then go watch the interviews from the creators. And it's kind of like that as well, you know, like see the art and then find the things that spark the curiosity.
Yes, we love deep dives after.
Oh my gosh. It's dangerous though, because I'm gonna watch every BuzzFeed video of them afterwards because I fall in love with you by that.
Yeah, and then you could be like, oh, that's where the chemistry was, or that's where it lacked because I don't see y'all doing it here. Yeah, I do the same.
I'm catching a bond here. Keisha is the queen of the deep dive. She's gonna research
everything.
We could go all day.
Everything. Oh,
but
man.
language, speaking of language, I don't know if you caught, but there is so Filipino language, the original alphabet was babaylan, but even that babaylan language, those letters, so to speak, those characters, thank you, were different in different parts of the island. So when you see Mari and she first gets the mask in issue 1, the script that's hidden, that's glowing within the box, is actually badlit, which so we had to like translate it twice and like actually go to different researchers throughout the different islands and get it retranslated. So
yeah, it was crazy.
We tried the best we could to do our research and make it authentic to that specific part. But again, it just shows you that there is so much differentiations even between the cultures and islands.
Yeah, and even there's over 7,000 islands in the Philippines, and even though the mythology stories are similar from island to island, the names are different. The stories are slightly tweaked. So we really had to be careful with not mixing too much the different mythologies, because we try to keep it to one like region of the Philippines.
Yeah. Wow.
I love that.
Yeah, that's so cool. It makes me curious, like, would you, so I know that you're mentioning the like war aspect for the next title, but is that something that you envision for Kwento moving forward, to like show different versions of different mythologies from Filipino culture, like as a whole? Or like, what do you see Kwento evolving into moving forward? Because if you keep putting out books like this, you guys are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
That is such an interesting question. I feel like we're doing what moves us, what speaks to us. Originally we had always thought, and I think it would still be really cool to come back to, is to tackle not only mythology from other parts of the Philippines, but also in Asia as well. I have Chinese heritage on my dad's side, and I feel like I have missed a little bit of that kind of growing up, and so I would love to even be able to tackle that region as well, because there's so much there. So it would be really cool to see a fusion of and to blend maybe eventually, right, Mom?
Yeah, so initially when and by the way, Kwento means story in Tagalog, if you don't know. That's why we named it Kwento. But my thoughts were, when we first started with this particular story, is that Haliya is a Bicolano moon goddess, and every culture has a moon goddess or a lunar goddess. And so in the future, I'd like to kind of expand the Kwento universe to encompass the different lunar moon goddesses from other cultures as well. But that's down the road, and you got to know
major spoiler.
That's a major spoiler.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Wait, you need to edit that out?
No, it's great.
That's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
But I mean, I think that's what's just so fun is I just don't think we're putting any pressure necessarily for us to go one way. I've always been like a very I'm like planned and rigid.
Yes.
I like needing to know like 15 years into the future. And I think we're at a point finally where we're really letting the stories flow through us and wanting to find the things that speak to us at the moment of of creation. So I think that's really beautiful that we've gotten to the place to allow ourselves to go into different avenues. For example, I was like, what do I have any business writing about? World War II next and all of those things. What did we have any business starting a comic book company to begin with? So I think
apparently every business, okay,
right.
Okay.
And The beauty of this whole thing is this is a mother-daughter journey. Waverly and I, doing this together. And it's been such a joy to be able to do this with her, which is very, very cool.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, yeah,
it's true. Every day, it's a blessing.
I mean, because at San Diego, that was the whole family there, right?
Oh, yeah. Any of our groups, you'll probably meet my cousin at one point. You'll meet my cousin's boyfriend. You'll meet my brother.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, for everybody watching or listening to this, we had a mission. We were on a mission. We had at San Diego Comic-Con, me and Keisha made a list of everybody we needed to see and everybody we wanted to meet because we wanted them to be on the show. Y'all were in our top 3 of people we needed to find when we got there. And so when we first made our way over there and found you guys, first of all, the energy was just amazing.
It was everything.
So nice. Such sweethearts. The excitement.
We're a rowdy crew.
We are.
God is strong, okay? But it was very much a oh, we're so happy to see you. We want to do this thing. We have all these other things going on. Can we link up when everybody's here and we'll come back? Y'all, to understand the sheer chaos that is San Diego Comic-Con, you literally have to be there because it was we were planning and we had emailed people ahead of time and everything. Nothing was working out, but you guys were such sweethearts. That's honestly one of my favorite pictures from Comic-Con where we're holding our books up and all of you guys are at the table in the middle. It was such a vibe. Yeah, the energy was unmatched.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we
definitely have to have that encourages other creators to. I mean, we're a little unconventional. We sometimes be stepping out the booth. We be hooting and hollering and waving. Come check us out. But if you are not your number one fan, how can you expect everyone else?
Exactly.
You gotta be the energy to again attract that energy. And that crowd and let people know this is come check this out. We're not Marvel, we're not DC. This is an indie title, but try something new. Try a story of mythology that you've never heard of. What's so funny is sometimes we'll be like, have you ever heard of Filipino mythology? And they look back, they go, huh? Wait, what? And that makes them intrigued. Those two words I don't even think I've heard together.
Yeah. And then
bet on yourself, everyone.
Yeah, and then we didn't talk about this, but you mentioned it briefly, but it's an independent title, but it's not giving that in terms of quality because when I tell you I'm here for a sexy hardcover, babes. I love a special edition. Give me all of the extra details, all of the things. There wasn't a thing missed, even down to the stylized end pages.
Yep.
I was they put their foot in this. It's beautiful from cover to cover, and then the little extra bits in the back of extra details, and then you get to see the art process, and then in each section there's character stuff and the other covers of the individual issues. It's such a well-made book. You know what I mean? It's not nothing about this would say that it wasn't published by some big industry publishing house. Do you know what I mean? So it's just kind of that.
And for the price too, it's great because there have been some times where I've looked at the price of some comics and I'm like, I know you're bugging right now.
Yeah.
But with this one, I was like, oh no, this is wonderful.
What I tell everyone, I'm like, listen, when you're done with the read, it makes a beautiful coffee table book. I'm like, so it's multifunctional. It's also core.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate that. We wanted to throw in the works with the book because we do understand it is a lot to take a chance on a new title. And so if we were going to, have your attention in that moment, we wanted you to dive in the deep end with us.
Yes. Y'all put your foot in it.
Beautiful.
It's so well done. I'm so glad that we've got our Pink Riot exclusives about what's coming down the pike.
Oh,
Do we
yeah.
have like a time frame that we're looking at, or is this newly in the works?
So we are looking at, see, maybe if I put it on the record, then we'll do it.
It'll do it. Yeah, it'll
Pink
happen.
Riot's gonna hold you accountable, sis.
I know, exactly. So I'm holding myself. I think I am my like biggest like critic more than, or person that holds myself even more than like my mom. I think like I'm more hardcore on myself. I think.
Yes.
I really, really am aiming for San Diego Comic-Con 2027.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
So,
Yes.
I like
Say
that.
less.
in a year and a half, about a year.
With the same art team?
We'll see her. Yeah, with a lot
Yes.
of our artists from the previous book that were in volume 2. So yeah, we have a lot of
So
returning.
the inner artwork is always the same art team, storyboard artist who does storyboard penciling, then our inker, and then our colorist, and then letterer. But each of the covers are always a different. So we always wanted to focus a different artist. Like this is number 1. One of my favorites
really
was
cool
issue 8.
Oh wait,
I love issue 8. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, issue 8's one of my favorite.
Am I just realizing that the text like is highlight? Hold on. Does it like
wait a second?
Yeah. Wait. Hold on.
Yeah, so this is issue 1.
Look at that. It just pops off the page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat
Leno did a great job. This is issue 1.
That's what's really awesome I'm glad that you caught that we put the covers in there, because we put
the covers in there.
Gonna get the whole thing. I'm like, let's give them the OG artwork.
Yeah, and then we found some more artists who are doing like different types of. This was Ebony. An exclusive from last year. This is Ebony, who does a completely different art style. So we love just highlighting different artists, women artists who come on board and get inspired. So it's good stuff.
Love it. Okay, so we're gonna just enjoy the world of Haliya and hype it to as many people as we can, so that not this San Diego Comic-Con, but next San Diego Comic-Con, we can be talking about the next story. Oh, that's so exciting.
The next project. Yep.
Yes. But what I will say, and we love to say this to all the creators that we come across, listen to yourself and let your quality of what you've already done speak to what you're doing moving forward. We love to put a date on something because we're greedy, but realistically, do it at the pace that feels right to you, because you guys obviously know what you're doing. So like, don't step away from that to meet some arbitrary deadline. We gonna be here. You guys have Kwento fans for life moving forward.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys. This has been such a joy. I had so much fun.
Yes. Okay, so before we let you go, though, we just want to make sure that you shameless plug yourselves. So tell us, where can people find you? Where can people buy the books? Where can people support you? If you have any, where can people find you at the cons? Like, what events do you have going on? We just want you to shameless plug everything that you have going on, so our Riot fam can support you.
All right, Waves. I'm gonna let you handle that one.
So we are at Kwento Comics on all social media, KWENTO, and then comics. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the good stuff. And then www.kwentocomics.com is where you can find the Mask of Haliya, as well as I think we have a few merch items still on there as well, if you want to pick that up, as well as some Hot Girls Read Comics, because I got the hotties in the comic community. We have you. And we'll be at San Diego Comic-Con this year, and in Chicago for Printers Row Lit Fest. That's always a really fun one. And those are the big ones for this year.
Yep.
Nice.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
so much.
This is awesome.
Yes, we can't wait to have you back so we can talk book 2 with spoilers.
Yes.
It's gonna be a vibe. Maybe we can get the whole team to come through for that one and just make it like family reunion style vibes.
There you go.
Yes.
All right.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much for we're all about just creating a Kwento community, and you guys are definitely part of it. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you for including us. We love that.
Yay!
All right.
Thank you all for
All
tuning
right.
in to this episode of the Pink Riot Comic Show. Make sure you like, share, follow, comment, subscribe to Pink Riot Comic Show on all US platforms. If you haven't already, check out our link tree so you can join our Patreon. We do have a free tier, and then we also have several paid tiers. The higher up you go in tiers, the more access it gives you. Make sure you check out our merch. We have some really cool Pink Riot shirts and hoodies and all of the things. We want you to rep the set when you're out and about. And if you liked this episode, scroll up, scroll down, check out 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 more. I don't know. Watch them or let them play in the background because those streams help us either way. If listening is more your bag, check us out because we's a podcast now. You can find us on Spotify, among other places where you can find podcasts. And if you like the live vibes, we're here every Thursday, live at 5 at the same damn place, at the same damn time, with no weeks off because we love you and we love what we do. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Later.
I definitely found more. All right, how many variants are there?
11.
Damn. Go ahead. No,